Hi you guys, welcome back to the vlog. I am excited to start doing this again. I'm going to try and do it once every couple weeks, if not more, and get back to the old style where I can take you into my world and take you on adventures with me. Right now I'm in Crested Butte. I came here to camp. It's raining outside, but you can see I'm in the rig, I call it, my Forerunner. This is where I sleep. And have found like a really beautiful spot right next to the creek, really secluded deep in the mountains. I'm really excited about that. But I thought that I would tell you about my big life changes because the people that I have mentioned it to have all said in one way or another that they are excited to follow along. So I thought it's a good time to bring the vlog back. Basically, when the whole coronavirus started, having been through so many really challenging times in my life, especially times where I wasn't making any money or I was really broke, I go immediately to worst case scenario, and I don't do it from a place of fear. I do it from a place of thinking through, okay, if the worst happens, what will I do? My initial thought was, okay, if I run out of money, if my clients stop paying, if I don't get enough new work, I can always go back to New Mexico. My dad splits his time between California and Albuquerque, mostly in California, but he has a house in New Mexico that I could probably stay at if I really needed to. Thankfully, I have stayed just as busy, if not busier at times, despite everything going on with the economy and the world right now, and so I've been very fortunate in that regard. As I was carrying on with business as usual, I had very clear visions start coming through, and so my intuition works in one of three ways. I have felt sense, which is just a general knowing. I just know in my bones, in my body, and my nervous system. I have kind of auditory, it's more like thoughts, but I have very clear thoughts or phrases or sentences that come through. And there's no emotion tied to them. They're just very clear thoughts that come through and I hear them. And I have really clear, really vivid visions. Sometimes they're of actual things, sometimes they are pretty spot on to what might actually be happening or who's involved, and other times they're kind of metaphorical. So I started having these really clear visions, kind of snippets. They weren't like a big movie or anything, they were just these little snippets of land and self-sustaining property and animals and being out more immersed in nature and just generally more disconnected from the world as most of us know it. I also started having a really clear, simple truth. So one of those thoughts that came through and said, even simpler yet. That was it. Even simpler yet. And it was, again, no emotion attached to it, and paired with the visions and the felt sense, just this clear knowing that what's next for me is to unplug even more from society and life as we know it and the way that I have been living my life. I've honestly been working to untangle from that for a very long time, since my early 20s, and part of moving up to the mountains was to get away from the regular life and to be more immersed in nature and to live a simpler life. Now it's time to go even simpler yet. So after a week or so of that same simple truth coming through and the very clear, vivid visions, I all of a sudden one morning was just overtaken with the urge to ask my dad about moving home anyways, even though financially it's not something that I need to do. So I sent him an email. I did not expect a yes, but he responded a few days later and said yes, that I could move back and live in his house in Albuquerque, so specifically that I can pay off the little debt that I have left and start saving money rapidly so that I can buy land. I'm really excited about this. My vision is to have a self-sustaining farm and to grow my own food. I will have animals, but because I will name them all, I will not be eating them. But I want to live on my own chunk of land, somewhere green, somewhere in the mountains. I don't know if it'll be Colorado. I don't know if it'll be somewhere else. I don't know exactly when it will be, and I also don't know how the heck it's even possible. But very clearly felt the urge to simplify and to make certain sacrifices so that I can make this happen more quickly. I talked about this in a post not too long ago, that sometimes we have to make sacrifices in order to create what we desire, especially when we're doing things that feel impossible. We have to be willing to let go of something or many things that aren't in alignment with what we feel called to create. When we lean into these big, scary, impossible visions, we have to trust in the unfolding and know that it's important to start as soon as you feel the urge, even if you don't know how it's going to play out yet. It took me forever, well, a while, to get my fire started, and then it started pouring.
So I tried to cover it, and now it's this massive, massive fire.
I've been trying to spend as much time in nature around Colorado and in Utah because I'm going to be leaving soon. I love it here. I've also been learning a lot about what it means to live life off the grid and learning about growing my own food and all the things that I'll need to know, and thinking about different trainings that I might want to have. So even getting trained as a wilderness EMT so that I have the skills to take care of myself and other people, something that I'm looking at. Thunder. I'm also trying to get stronger and healthier. And granted, I'm not moving off the grid anytime soon, but I'm really putting all of myself into this vision because it feels really aligned for me and how I want to live my life. So part of that is taking myself out into nature more and putting myself in different situations and really learning skills that I don't have and learn to really take care of myself. I've been working out with my trainer again as well, now that the gym is reopening, doing some one-on-one when there's no one in the gym. Just really aligning all aspects of my life with what I say I want and who I want to be now, even though I don't know when I'm going to be buying land. I'm thinking this is a 1 to 2 year plan, which means there's a lot that needs to be put in motion for me to really make it happen. Good morning. It's about 7 a.m. I think I fell asleep around 9. In case you're wondering, yes, I was able to enjoy my fire despite the rain. I sat and read, and I actually read the most perfect passage from Women Who Run with the Wolves. In this tale, the old woman is a symbol of the rigid keeper of collective tradition, an enforcer of the unquestioned status quo, the behave yourself, don't make waves, don't think too hard, don't get big ideas, just keep a low profile, be a carbon copy, be nice, say yes even though you don't like it, if it doesn't fit, it's not the right size and it hurts, and so on. To follow such a lifeless value system causes loss of soul linkage in the extreme. Regardless of collective affiliations or influences, our challenge in behalf of the wild soul and our creative spirit is to not merge with any collective, but to distinguish ourselves from those who surround us, building bridges back to them as we choose. We decide which bridges will become strong and well-traveled and which will remain sketchy and empty. And the collectives we favor with relationship will be those that offer the most support for our soul and creative life. I have spent so much of my life fitting into the world the way it is and the way everybody tells me it should be, trying to fit into the lives of the people I'm in relationship with versus honoring what feels right for me and what I want to create. And so that's what I'm doing now. I want to create a life that fits who I am, that does not go with the status quo, that is not typical, and work on building bridges to the people and places and communities that actually really matter to me and really nourish my soul. I'm out hiking. I chose Crested Butte this weekend because it's about 15 to 18 degrees cooler than where I live and everywhere else. I want to talk a little bit about doing the impossible. It always starts with a decision, really claiming what it is that you want. Because when we decide that what we want is happening, then we start moving forward in expectation of it. We start organizing ourselves, our mindset, our life, our way of being around it. And that is how we make it happen. And that's when new pathways and opportunities start showing up. As an example, as soon as I decided that it was happening, I actually met someone in the area that has lived off the grid before in Idaho, had a camper, built a cabin, pumped water from the creek, and is now living off the grid in the area that I'm in. And so I got a tomato plant that I've kept alive, and I've already learned more than I ever would have before about what it means to live off the grid. I have a long ways to go, but it's just one of those examples that when we make the decision and start moving forward in expectation of it happening, things start falling into place that never would have otherwise. We start meeting people that have something that we need that can help us in some way, and we start getting opportunities that we wouldn't have had before. If we're undecided about something, we will be wishy-washy, and it will be hard for us to align with the things that we need because we're kind of bouncing back and forth between different options, different possibilities. So decision is really the first piece in making the impossible happen. And once you decide, you just have to go. I don't know the timeline of anything, but I am decided and I am committed. So I am moving forward in expectation of it. And that means organizing my life in such a way that says this is happening. So I'm wearing my sweatshirt because I just swam. It is not nearly as warm as it looks. I'm getting ready to head home, and I wanted to address the why behind why I'm moving. I know I talked about that a little bit in terms of really wanting to immerse myself in nature even more so than I am, and to be self-sufficient. The other reason is I don't understand the world. It doesn't make sense to me, and I've tried very hard over the years to fit into the status quo and to find a way to coexist alongside other people and create a life that works with what we're supposed to do. And I've actually done it really well in different iterations at different points in my life. I have figured out how to live this life by the book, the way that we're supposed to be a good adult, have all the things, be successful. And it's never made me happy. And so I really believe that we are all have been born into this society and this culture and this way of being that is designed to strip us, to strip our spirit out, and to turn us into almost robots that just follow the path that's been laid out for us, and to never question it, and to never stray outside of the norm and the typical. It starts from as soon as we're born. We're born into family systems and family structures with sets of beliefs and values that tell us that to be a good person, to get love, to be safe and secure, we have to behave in certain ways. And so these certain ways are set by other people, which are adopted from outside influences like society or whatever culture or community they're in. And so this is hammered into us from a very young age, and we are taught not to be ourselves and to be less expressive and to be quieter and to be more palatable and to fit wherever we are without disrupting anyone or anything else. When we don't do that, we are made wrong and bad. We are shamed. We are told that we are not a good enough person. And so we start to develop these core wounds that run us for the rest of our lives. Then, when we're old enough, they ship us off to school, and school is another structure and system that is designed to make us less of who we are. I also feel very strongly that as humans, we are not meant to be as disconnected from nature and the natural cycles and rhythms of life as we are. We literally wall ourselves off, in every sense of the word, wall ourselves off from nature and from the natural cycles and rhythms and seasons of life. And we're meant to work in harmony with that. Our bodies, we are humans. Our bodies are animals. We are meant to live in harmony with nature, and we cut ourselves off from it quite intentionally in so many different ways. I really want to develop a relationship with nature and the natural seasons and cycles and rhythms of life, and to be self-sufficient and to really immerse myself in a life that revolves around being connected to nature in this way. I mentioned that I made a friend that is living off the grid already, and something that he said to me that really struck a chord with where I'm at and why I'm doing all of this is that the goal of this life is to keep our souls, to get out with our souls intact. And so I did it. I played the game. I did it really well. I achieved all the things, and it wasn't for me. It didn't make me happy. In fact, it made me very, very depressed. And so I'm done. I'm done compromising who I am and who I'm here to be to fit in anywhere, whether that's with other people in certain relationships or society at large. I am ready to give everything I have to creating a life that's really nurturing and fulfilling for me, where I know that I have done everything in my power to live out the rest of my days with my soul intact, without anything or anyone that asks me to compromise that directly or indirectly. That's it. That is the news for me. Thank you for coming on this journey with me. If you like this, let me know. I'm going to try and make them at least twice a month, if not more. And I will, of course, keep you all posted. There's so much else to say about what's going on in my business and the direction we're moving things, but that will come in another video. All right. I will see you guys soon.